Sorry.
But I want to ask, why? Why now?
Why now?
Yeah.
Well, from my view on this, it's because of the cycles, the same understanding that the Mayans have and the Hopi have. The cycles of time, which are connected to different movements of the Earth and within the Earth, and the Sun and the Moon, and specifically Jupiter and Saturn, and all the planets, this solar system. These cycles are coming to an end and a new beginning, which happens on December 21st, 2012. We've all heard this now. And we are so close in these cycles. According to the Mayans, there is a window of time around this date. The events that the Mayans speak about are not just happen on that day. In fact, they have declared that it probably won't happen on that day, but it's going to happen sometime in the window. The window began on October 24th, 2007, and that was the Hopi prophecy of the blue star. And even though it never was announced to the world, you can go through scientific levels and discover the truth of what I'm saying. There was a comet that came into our solar system called Comet Holmes, and that comet exploded and became a huge blue sphere in the sky, and rapidly, within a few days, became larger than the sun. It's now reported as the largest object ever seen inside our solar system. It was a giant blue sphere. It was bigger than the sun, bigger than the moon visually when you'd see it. And yet nobody talked about it. But the indigenous people all over the world knew what it was, and they knew exactly what this meant. And this was the beginning of the time when the whole world was going to change from darkness into light, from the brain into the heart, from a whole new way of being with each other, and being with life, and being with the world. And it happened, and so now we are inside this window. The window ends sometime in the end, according to the Mayans, in the end, very, very end period time of November, December of 2015. And then there is the red star prophecy that will come. And that prophecy, probably from science, will probably come from one of the four stars, Betelgeuse, in Orion Nebula, because it's imploding right now, and will probably become a supernova very soon, and we're going to feel it. We're going to actually feel this impact because it's so close to us, and it's going to be a huge red star that's going to appear in the sky.
When I was with Baba Credo Mutwa in South Africa, and he was talking about the red star Mawumitsi that would show up in 2015 and be the sign of the change, you know, so it's very interesting now. Here I am on the other side of the world, and we're having the same conversation.
Well, Credo is a very close person in my heart. I love him, and I really respect who he is and what he's been doing for the world. And he is also deeply into what the ETs are doing, both in positive and negative moves in the world. They land there, right, for the Zulu. They're there all the time. It's not something that for us. It's about a weekly experience, according to him. And
yeah, we were in the same time I was there with him. We went out one day into the area where the caves are, and I can't remember the name right now, where the Miss Players was found, I think, of being about 3 million years old. And we were walking back from the caves, and we were in this space, and all of a sudden it seemed like a friend of mine, Apila Colorado from Hawaii, who started the Worldwide Indigenous Science Network, we were walking down this hill, and all of a sudden everything out in front of us turned green, and I turned and looked at her, and her eyes were so green. And in this flash, I mean, it was so intense, it's a wonder we didn't fall out. I mean, we both got wobbly and dizzy. But you could see that there was some whole other dimension, like layered over where we were and what we were witnessing, and it was the most incredible experience, one of them that I think I've had in my lifetime.
Well, all over the world there are caves with very high-level beings that are in them, and some of them are human, and some of them are not human, and but these places are protected dimensionally. There's nothing we could do on our levels to interrupt what is about to occur, and this is a blessing beyond anything we can almost imagine right now of what this is going to mean for us, because we're coming to a time when, at the end of this cycle, when very negative things will appear externally and probably create a great deal of fear, but at the same time there's going to be our brothers and sisters from everywhere that are going to protect us during this time and allow us to make the kinds of changes that we have to make within ourselves. Nobody can do it for us. I mean, we have to do it ourselves. And we're going to remember, because when we see them and we see what's going on, this is embedded in our consciousness.
That's right.
When we see this happening, we're going to go, oh, I remember, I know. And then we're going to go, and then the memory that is going to start flooding through us, and we're going to know who we are, because we're far more than just a human being. We are way more than that. We are a master on levels that right now we don't remember, but we will know exactly how to breathe, how to bring everything together within ourselves, how to reconnect with the outer reality, which is within us, not external to us. And many things that right now it seems hopeless, but it is not hopeless. It is perfect. We are moving exactly the way we are supposed to move. And there is nothing wrong, even though it seems, on a human level, very bad. We have not been forgotten. And we have taken a detour that we all volunteered for. And we knew this detour was going to be difficult and hard. But the end result is that what happens through all of this is not only for all of humanity and for Mother Earth and Father Sun and the solar system, it's for all life everywhere. And this is a very, very important moment in the history of the universe.
You're listening to Peace Talks on Life Conversations Radio with Audri Scott Williams. I'm here in Sedona with Drunvalo and members of the 13 Moon Walk for Peace. And we're having an incredible conversation with Drunvalo, and we're very grateful that he's taken this time to be with us. I wanted to shift the conversation, although it's not really a shift, but I wanted to go into the heart. You know, we think of the heart as this organ that keeps us alive, and certainly it's that. But it's a lot more than that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Actually, every organ and every gland in the body has a relationship to human consciousness and creates the chakra system and the meridians that run through the body. But there are certain ones that are more important than others. Right now, in where we are now in this very dark place, we think that intelligence is the greatest thing, and that the mind and the brain is what is really important. We also think we're the most important thing that's ever lived and the most evolved thing that's ever been on Earth, which just isn't true either. But yeah, I would like to talk about this for a moment because it's important in our memory. I'll go back to, first of all, I'm going to make a statement, and that statement is that the brain is more intelligent, smarter, has a greater wisdom, and is older and is more primal than the brain.
The heart is.
The heart is. In ancient times, for example, in Egypt, when they mummified a body, they would take all the organs out of the body, and except for 3, and they would put them in these 4 clay vases, and they would be buried with the person. But the brain, the heart, was taken out, and it was the most important, and it was placed back in the body, and so were the genitals placed back in the body. Those 2 things, the sexual energy and the heart. But what did they do with the brain? They took it out of the body through the nose. They actually sucked it out through the brain into there, and they threw it in the garbage can. They felt it was an absolutely useless organ. And yet we have placed complete dependence upon it right now. Such a difference of opinion in just 5,000 or 6,000 years. Let's go to the heart for a moment, and we'll go to science and what they now know. If you go into some of my books, like the Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, in there we show that the life begins as a sphere, which is the ovum, and then it divides into two through mitosis, and then it divides into four, and when it does, it forms a tetrahedron, which is one of the sacred forms. And then it goes from 4 to 8, and it forms a star tetrahedron, another one, which is actually also a cube. And then it continues to move until it reaches 512 cells, and where it becomes what is called a toroidal field, one of the most sacred forms of all, and it's hollow inside. And this ultimately becomes our body. And it continues to move, this toroidal field, and what it actually becomes is the human heart. And so there is a place that we all went through when we were in our mommy's womb, where we were a human heart and nothing else. We didn't have a brain. We didn't have arms and legs. We didn't have anything. We were just a heart, and it began to beat.